1953. The Cold War was at its most paranoid. American POWs returning from Korea appeared brainwashed. The CIA believed the Soviets had cracked mind control. Director Allen Dulles was terrified, and he was about to do something that should never have happened. On April 13, 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles approved Project MKUltra, a top-secret program to develop mind control techniques, using drugs, hypnosis, electroshock, sensory deprivation, and any other method that might work, on real human beings. MKUltra was not the beginning. Before it came Project Artichoke and Project Bluebird, the CIA had been experimenting on human subjects since 1950. MKUltra was the expansion, the formalization, the moment the program became something far larger and far darker. The primary goal was a perfect truth serum for interrogating Soviet spies, something that would make a person tell everything they knew, unable to lie, unable to resist. 150 subprojects across 80 institutions were funded to find it. LSD became the CIA's primary tool. Pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly produced it exclusively for the CIA from 1954. It was extraordinarily powerful. Minute doses produced hours of total psychological disorientation, and the CIA began using it on people without telling them. The CIA secretly dosed Americans who had no idea they were subjects. Mental patients, federal prisoners, soldiers, hospital patients, people who went to a doctor for help, people who trusted government institutions. They were given LSD without knowledge or consent. Operation Midnight Climax. CIA operatives hired sex workers to lure men to safe houses in San Francisco and New York. The men were secretly given LSD. CIA agents watched from behind one-way mirrors and took notes. For years, without anyone's knowledge or consent. Sidney Gottlieb ran MKUltra's chemical division, a brilliant chemist with a clubfoot who secretly controlled one of the most terrifying programs in American government history. He personally approved experiments that destroyed lives. He called it his life's work. Frank Olson was an Army biochemist working with the CIA. In November 1953, he attended a meeting at a CIA retreat in Maryland. Someone put LSD in his drink without telling him. 10 days later, he was dead. The official verdict was suicide. Almost nothing about the case was ever officially resolved. On November 28, 1953, Frank Olson fell from the 10th floor of the Statler Hotel in New York. He had been in CIA custody for 10 days since being secretly dosed. The CIA called it suicide. His family always disputed it. The case has never been fully resolved. Eric Olson spent decades fighting for answers about his father's death. In 1994, he had Frank Olson's body exhumed. A forensic examination found a hematoma on the skull consistent with being struck before falling, not consistent with voluntary jumping. The CIA has never fully responded. The CIA exported MKUltra to Canada. Scottish psychiatrist Donald Ewan Cameron at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal received CIA funding. His patients believed they were getting standard psychiatric care. What they received was something far more extreme. Cameron developed psychic driving. Patients were kept in drug-induced sleep for weeks. Looped recorded messages played through headphones continuously. Some were subjected to electroshock at 30 to 40 times the normal dose. The goal was to erase their identity and reprogram them. The CIA paid $375,000 toward the construction of a new building at Georgetown University Hospital. In return, the CIA got 1/6 of the facility as a secret safe house. Real hospital patients were used as test subjects. Medical trust was the weapon. In 1973, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered every MKUltra document destroyed. His staff searched every CIA office. They missed a records warehouse outside Washington. 7 boxes survived by accident. Those boxes contained 20,000 documents. They changed everything. John Marks filed a Freedom of Information Act request in 1977. The CIA was legally required to search its records. They found the warehouse. 20,000 documents they had believed were destroyed. The full story of MKUltra began to surface for the first time. In 1977, Senator Ted Kennedy convened public hearings on MKUltra. CIA Director Stansfield Turner testified. He confirmed the program existed, confirmed unwitting experiments on American citizens, confirmed the document destruction. The country was stunned. The surviving documents described 150 separate subprojects across 80 institutions, universities, hospitals, prisons, mental institutions. The experiments included high-dose LSD, electroshock, sensory deprivation, sleep deprivation, and psychological torture, all on unwitting Americans. The CIA funded MKUltra research through front organizations at prestigious institutions: Harvard, Stanford, Columbia, Johns Hopkins. The researchers sometimes knew CIA funding was involved. Sometimes they did not. The program penetrated the heart of American academic science. Subproject 68 at the Allen Memorial Institute is considered the most egregious. Patients came seeking psychiatric help. Cameron subjected them to drug-induced sleep lasting weeks, continuous recorded messages, and extreme electroshock. Many never fully recovered. None had consented. Many MKUltra victims never knew what had been done to them. They experienced lasting psychological damage and had no explanation. Some were told their symptoms were pre-existing conditions. The CIA concealed its role for decades. Some victims never learned the truth before they died. In 1988, the Canadian government compensated some of Cameron's victims after years of legal battles. The CIA eventually settled some cases. The amounts were considered inadequate by virtually every legal observer. For many victims, the acknowledgment came too late to matter. Here is what MKUltra actually achieved. Despite 20 years, 150 subprojects, and millions of dollars, the CIA never developed a reliable mind control technique, never produced a perfect truth serum. The program caused enormous human suffering and produced almost nothing useful. One of MKUltra's most ironic legacies, Ken Kesey, who later founded the Merry Pranksters and helped spark the 1960s counterculture, first encountered LSD as a paid volunteer in a CIA-funded MKUltra experiment at a Veterans Administration hospital in California. In January 1973, outgoing CIA Director Richard Helms ordered the complete destruction of all MKUltra files. The order was carried out throughout CIA offices. The goal was to ensure the program could never be fully investigated. In December 2024, the National Security Archive and ProQuest published a new collection of over 1,200 MKUltra documents. 50 years after the New York Times first exposed the program, new details are still emerging. The full truth of MKUltra has still not been completely told. The 2024 documents include a 1950 plan for interrogation teams using drugs and hypnosis, and a 1956 memo explicitly approving high-dose LSD experiments on federal prisoners. They confirm the program was approved at the highest levels of CIA leadership from the very beginning. Many institutions that participated in MKUltra research have never formally addressed their role. Some researchers were unaware of CIA involvement. Others were not. The question of institutional accountability for MKUltra has never been fully resolved in American academic life. The Church Committee concluded that MKUltra represented a fundamental violation of American values. Senator Church said the United States must not adopt the tactics of the enemy. Crises make it tempting to ignore the restraints that make men free. In 1994, President Clinton personally met with Frank Olson's family and expressed regret about what had happened. The government provided compensation, but no one was ever prosecuted for MKUltra. No CIA official faced criminal charges. The apology came without accountability. MKUltra ran for 20 years, through multiple presidential administrations, with congressional funding in prestigious institutions, without effective oversight. The lesson is not that the CIA was uniquely evil. MKUltra officially ended in 1973, or replaced it as classified. The Church Committee found that behavior modification research continued under different program names after MKUltra was shut down. What exists today in classified government research programs is genuinely unknown. The survivors who are still alive tell remarkably consistent stories. Unexplained gaps in memory, psychological symptoms that lasted decades, the slow realization years later that what they experienced had a name and a source, that they were part of a government experiment they never agreed to. The impact extended to families. Children who watched a parent return from a hospital psychologically destroyed, who grew up watching someone they loved struggle with damage they could not explain. MKUltra did not end when the experiment stopped. It continued in the lives it had damaged. Canadian victims of Cameron's experiments sued both the CIA and the Canadian government. The legal battle lasted decades. The CIA eventually settled 9 cases in 1988. The Canadian government provided compensation in 1992. Neither admitted liability in the way victims deserved. Some of the most disturbing aspects of MKUltra involved academia. The CIA used front organizations to fund university research without revealing the CIA's involvement. Academic researchers published findings that fed a mind control program without knowing that was how their work was being used. The CIA created front organizations with respectable names to funnel money to MKUltra researchers. The Society for the Investigation of Human Ecology, the Gestichter Fund for Medical Research, names that sounded academic, purposes that were classified. The deception was systematic. Physicians participated in MKUltra experiments that directly violated medical ethics. Some were deceived about CIA involvement. Others were not. The participation of credentialed medical professionals gave the program a veneer of scientific legitimacy it did not deserve. In 1953, when MKUltra began, the legal framework protecting human research subjects barely existed. Informed consent requirements in American research were minimal. Ethics review boards did not exist in most institutions. MKUltra operated in a regulatory void that the CIA exploited deliberately. The Nuremberg Code was established in 1947 specifically in response to Nazi medical experimentation. It requires voluntary informed consent from research subjects. The CIA began MKUltra in 1953, 6 years after Nuremberg. The code that condemned Nazi doctors was ignored by American ones. The ethics oversight systems in American research today exist in large part because of what MKUltra revealed: institutional review boards, informed consent requirements, federal regulations on human subjects research. The safeguards built after the Church Committee are MKUltra's most important legacy. The conditions that allowed MKUltra exist in every era: genuine national security threats, institutional secrecy, limited oversight, the belief that the ends justify the means. The Church Committee built safeguards, but safeguards are only as strong as the will to enforce them. Most MKUltra files were successfully destroyed in 1973. What we know comes from the 20,000 documents that survived by accident. Experts estimate those documents represent a fraction of the program's full scope. What was in the destroyed files is gone permanently. Alan Dulles, Richard Helms, Sidney Gottlieb, the men who created, ran, and ultimately tried to destroy the evidence of MKUltra. Dulles died in 1969. Helms died in 2002. Gottlieb died in 1999. None was ever prosecuted. None spent a day in prison. None publicly expressed remorse. Portions of MKUltra documentation remain classified today. Not all files were released in the 1977 FOIA response or subsequent releases. Researchers continue filing requests. The CIA continues to withhold material it deems sensitive. The full history of MKUltra is still not public. MKUltra permanently damaged the relationship between American citizens and their government. Trust in institutions that is broken by documented betrayal of this scale does not fully recover. The program was real, the harm was real, the accountability was inadequate. In December 2024, over 1,200 new MKUltra documents were published, 50 years after the New York Times first exposed the program. 70 years after LSD experiments on unwitting Americans began, the story of MKUltra is still being written. The full truth has still not been told. The CIA tried to erase MKUltra, a filing error save enough to prove it existed, enough to prove what it did, not enough to know everything. What was in those burned files? What the redacted sections say? What programs replaced it? Subscribe for a new forgotten mystery.